Hi, everyone. My name is Bill Kinahan. I'm a senior solution engineer with Velosio, and I'm going to take a few minutes today to talk to you about how to make your sellers more efficient using Dynamics 365 sales, as well as embedded artificial intelligence within the application. So let's take a look. So we're going to walk through a few scenarios today. The first one being how to have your sellers review their deals and do some actions directly from their dashboard. Okay, so look at that data. Some of that data may be AI produced, some of the data may be manually entered. It could have been based on how long an opportunity has been open, those types of things. And then how we initiate action on those deals, right? How to quickly work on them and get some more synopsis and information in regards to them. The second one we'll look at is how to review deals from within the deal pipeline. Now, deal pipeline is something that is relatively new to the application, but it does allow a salesperson to go in and monitor their deals, monitor all deals if they have the appropriate security, and make quick changes to them. And those deals maybe it's certainly a more visual view within my sales pipeline, so it allows me to get something very quick and make some changes to it if I need to. And then lastly, we'll go through qualification of a lead and how to automate those steps to move that deal forward. So that is geared around lead management, which we're used to. You'll see some different details in there, but we're also going to take a peek at sequences. And sequences allows that salesperson to automate that process, right? The sales process, the lead process, based on a multitude of different things. So you can actually go in and configure that sequence to help you walk through that sales cycle depending on who the customer is and those types of things. So let's go in and take a look at the system. So this is Dynamics, right? That we're all used to using and on a daily basis. You can see I'm looking at my dashboard right now. It's Bill's dashboard. I've got a few different things on this screen. I'm looking at my pipeline, right? My open opportunities on the left-hand side showing me the different phases that those are stages that opportunity is in. I actually have some notifications by the assistant in the middle here too. You can see there's been no activity opportunities, opportunity closing soon, different things like that. These are just cards in the system that have been created, right, for me based on certain criteria on an opportunity or on a lead or whatever it might be. So that gives me a reminder that I need to do something or if some activity hasn't happened. And this is again all tied into like the artificial intelligence and things like that are built into the system that help me as a seller to be more proactive. On the right-hand side, you can see you've got my open opportunities by relationship. This is also showing me some information based on AI and some statistics that are in the system. So I can see that I've got different opportunities. I've got the relationship health with them, some details in regards to them, and you can see I've got the little green, yellow, red, all of those different types of identifiers that I can quickly see how a deal is going. So in this case, let's take a look at the product interest opportunity. And you can see that we've got some more information on the screen to us, right? We've got some key details on the left-hand side. I'll touch on the middle in a second. On the right-hand side, I've got a opportunity score. So it's actually grading this for me, okay, this opportunity. So that's based on some metrics around like the purchase process, the annual revenue, the budget amount. If those things are off, right, AI is going to look at that and start to create a score for me. Now this opportunity is improving. These get regraded every day, okay? So if certain things change on that opportunity, I'm then able to see that it's improving, it's declining, it's staying the same, there's been no action on it, whatever it might be. So this opportunity score actually gives me a very quick synopsis of what's going on. Now we've got a fairly low score for this opportunity, so we're going to want to engage more with this customer, get maybe that purchase process instead of individual, get it to a committee where we're going to get that decision made quicker, all of those kinds of things. Now, if I want to look at what has gone on with this opportunity in the past, that's this middle area, right? So I'm going to look and see all the different activities that have gone on. So that could be just for me, or it could be for multiple different people in the system. And one of those activities you can see, we got a call from Jack. So I can go in and look at the detail of that call. And you can see this is pretty typical information here. I got a call from Jack Johnson. Here's the phone number it came in with. Was there a voicemail left? All that kind of stuff. Really, the interesting information here is underneath call summary. And this is utilizing the tool set that allows me to actually look at that call, right? So call intelligence. So the ability to have all of that data that's part of that call captured so I can go back and reevaluate it and maybe make some actions on it. So in this case, you can see I've got multiple areas of the screen. The bottom is actually a recording, right? So this is again part of the AI side, right? So it's recording the call for me, right? It's showing me different sentiment within the call, okay, whether it's happy, neutral, positive, negative, all of those types of things are identified within here. It's also telling me different areas. So greetings, introductions kept going, and then it's schedule a meeting was the last thing. So that kind of gives me that recording if I want to go back and listen to that call in the future. If I look on the right, this is an actual transcript of the call. So we're talking about a shipment issue that we had. You can see put us in bad position was highlighted. If I want to go to this area in the actual recording, I hit that anything that's highlighted and it takes me to the recording and shows me again. I can review it or listen to it again if I choose to. You can see all of the different areas here that are being captured. So really the basis of this call was Jack called in, had a problem with the shipment. We've got an opportunity with Jack right now, so we may want to really look after this quickly, right, in order to make sure that opportunity isn't jeopardized going forward. And then you can see over here that I've got notes, action items, and mentions. So if I look at the notes area, you can actually see Bill Kinahan and the team will figure out what's going on today. Okay, so this is from yesterday. So I said within the call that I would look after this problem for them. Any action items? Okay, we'll get this figured out today. And then mentions, you can also see these are all the different words that were mentioned within the conversation that the system feels is important. Now, some of these are keywords, right? So I've got quote, bad position, answers, Jack, touch. Certain people mentioned, times, if there's any questions, all those types of things within the system. So pretty powerful stuff, right? It allows a seller to go back and review the actual call, right? The system and an AI are going to go in and kind of slice that call up for me and give me a synopsis of how that call went, right? The sentiment of it, any keywords, the follow-ups, the action items, all of those types of things are going to be actually captured for me. So as a seller, especially when we know when sellers were busy, right? So we're out doing things, we're working a lot of different deals. This gives you a very quick synopsis in how to move forward with a specific deal. Now, you can also go back and in here we can see different activities, right? So it says email for available time slots to Jack. Now I can email directly from here, right? I can email, click this little email button and it's going to pop open an email screen and I can enter it in. Let's go take a look at, again, how I might be able to do this from Outlook. So we've got an email from Jack and we got a phone call from Jack. So in this case, we get, hey, Bill, it seems like we didn't get everything shipped to us on our last order. Can you look into that, please? So this was before our phone call that we got. You'll notice on the right-hand side, I have Viva Sales available. Again, another AI type platform. If anybody has heard Copilot recently, this is part of Copilot. So this allows the system or AI to actually build an email response back for me. So in this case, we can say this is address a concern. I can click on that and Copilot is going to look at that email, look at who Jack is within the system, and again, come back and give me a response back to Jack. So you can see that it's come up with thank you for your email, value doing business with Tura and appreciate your patience and understanding. Apologize for the issues you experienced with the last order. Love to take care of all the concerns so we can progress with the deal for LCD 601 and meet our target date of 623. So that's actually pulled data, right, from within Dynamics, right? It knows there's a deal, an opportunity in there called LCD 601, and we know the close date on that deal is 623. Okay, so it's actually looking at the system, pulling data out that's pertinent to Jack, addressing the concern from the email, and the last piece is actually sets up a meeting as well for us to talk with Jack. So I can go in, I can copy this text, I can reply back to Jack, I can just paste that back into my email and I can send it. Now, obviously I can personalize this and maybe I want to add in a personal message or anything like that to it. But in this case, we can just send that. And now that email's gone back out to Jack. So another way to use artificial intelligence this is from within Outlook, right? Utilizing Outlook, it's pulling in data that exists in Dynamics. It's pulling in data that exists in Outlook. You'll see Copilot be more in the forefront, not just within Dynamics, but also within the Office suite and ERP and things like that. So we talk about how to do this directly from the dashboard. So that was kind of that first scenario went through. The next one we wanted to look at is how to manage from a deal pipeline, right? So if I go in and look at my opportunities on the left-hand side, this is producing a list for me, right? So I see all my open opportunities from within here. This is our typical list that we would always see within Dynamics. I can go in and manage my opportunities, make changes to it, drill in, look at data. We now have the ability, though, to go in and look at a pipeline view. And this pipeline view allows a seller to go in and quickly modify. It also is very visual, right? So I can see a lot of data on this screen and get an understanding of deals that are past due. The larger the circle, the larger the deal. You can see how we've graded our deals A, B, C, and D. Okay, based on, again, AI, where the grading in the system of where that deal should sit. I can see a deal here that's way past due, right? So this is due at the start of May. I can click on that. It's going to bring up my information on the right hand side. And in that information, it's going to show me all of the details of this. So I can go in and make changes to it on the fly. So this is very similar to what we would see if we created a new opportunity or anything like that. This is also very similar to what you'd see in Outlook, right? When I look at a deal or look at an opportunity within Outlook. So in this case, I can go in and look at all the different details, maybe make some changes to it, add some opportunity or activities to it. I can also go in and, you know what, this deal obviously hasn't closed because it's from the start of May. I'm going to push this out to July. Okay. I'm going to then save that. So you can see how quickly I saw that deal was past due. So as a sales manager, right, I may be able to go in and look at my pipeline or my seller's pipeline, make changes to it. As an individual seller, I can do the same thing, right? I can go in and manage my deals very effectively from here, very quickly from here, move them out, change opportunities, all of that kind of stuff. Now you can see we're looking at open opportunities. So this view that we see here, this deal tracker, deal pipeline view, is actually looking at the actual filter or the view I have sitting behind. So if I go in and change this to all opportunities, it's going to stretch out my timeline, right? Obviously, because it's every deal that's ever happened in the system, but it's also going to give me some detail up top. So it's going to show me my pipeline value, number of deals that are in my pipeline. We've got how much we've won in it, number of won deals, and the lost amount as well. So it's giving me a synopsis of my pipeline, in this case, all opportunities, again, very quickly, and rolling up some of those dollars on top. So that kind of gives you an idea of how quickly I can go in, look at my pipeline, right? Look at a list view, which I used to do, right? I don't want to say cumbersome, but there's a lot of data on that screen. It's not very visual, right? For our seller is very efficient to come to this screen, look at these details, make changes to them quickly, update them. I can mass update from down here. This again is a view from down here where I can look at multiple records at the same time. All of that information on a single screen, right? I'm not having to drill in. I'm not having to do anything like that. Now, the third scenario that we talked about was around how we can move a deal forward from a lead to opportunity and use sequences in order to help me move that deal, right? Or help me manage that deal forward. So in this case, I can go in. This is again my pipeline. I've got a little different dashboard, or sorry, again, my dashboard. I've got a little different view of it, right? I've got my pipeline here. I've got leads by rating. Okay, I've got activities here. I've got active accounts, opportunities, and activity views down below. We can go in and look at this as the detail behind. So if I want to go in and look at my leads, make a determination of what leads I want to work on, you can see this is a list of leads on the right. I've got, again, my diagram or my visual on the left-hand side. If I want to go and look at my hot leads because I want to start to work those deals, I can click on that area and it refreshes the right. Now, our top deal that you can see up top here is with Lynn. So I can go in, open up her record, and this is my lead, right? This is my lead that I would continue to work on, or if I have a team that's going to work on this lead to eventually get this to qualification. So a couple things to notice here. It looks very similar to what we saw in an opportunity, right? I've got some opportunity information in here. I've got my activities in the middle. I've got some industry and organizational information on the right-hand side. I've also got my process bar along the top, so showing me where I am. So in this case, we're still in qualify, right? We've got to get to develop, propose, and then hopefully close this deal. Now, what we want to talk about here for a second is, again, the efficiencies that are gained by using some of the AI within the tool set. So you can see I've got sequence available to me here. I can go and connect sequence. And then what a sequence is, it's going to walk me through a process, right? And there could be yes, no statements, there could be wait statements, there could be a multitude of different things within that sequence. So in this case, we've got a simple one called follow up. I could go in, connect that follow up sequence to this, and the screen is going to change in a second where now you can see it's creating activities for me to complete. So in this case, I've got a follow-up call. I could call from here, right? I could go in and mark this as complete. You can see the next step is to send out marketing materials after 1 day. So this call has been completed immediately for me, right? It wants me to do it right away. Then if I go wait a day, it's going to want me to send out marketing materials. So you can see the process that's getting defined from this sequence. Now, a sequence can be, this is quite a simple one, right? It's got 3 or 4 steps associated to it. This is actually the setup area for sequences. So this allows sequences to be set up and again, get initiated based on the type of deal, the type of product, the territory, the salesperson, whatever different criteria you want. So you can see here, I've got a sequence is going to start. It's going to send out an automatic email. It's going to wait for an hour. We're going to do some LinkedIn research, connect with that person, wait for 1 day, then we're going to send an email. If we get a response from that email, okay, we're going to share some meeting details, get it in front of them. That if we don't get a response, we're going to go book an appointment with them, prepare for a demo, advanced phone, so share meeting details, wait for 2 days. So you can see how complex we can get with this and get right down to details, yes, no statements, all of that type of stuff. So that's the idea of a sequence. And this sequence can be activated automatically for you. In this case back here, we initiated that by just going up and clicking the sequence. But again, this is just an activity. So I can mark that complete. If we did that phone call out to Lynn, if I went in and completed it myself, it would automatically complete. So we've marked this as a complete. You say, we're marking the phone call. Made the call, all is good. Got it. And now that's going to move us forward to that next step. So the next step being we're going to send out those marketing materials out to Lynn. So that gives you an idea of, from a sequence perspective, how quickly that we can manage this sales process and move to the next step and move to the next step and move to the next step. And maybe it gets assigned to someone else, all of those different details that go through. Now, the last thing that we want, right, when we're working the sequence is qualify this out. So I can go in, click on qualify. That's going to actually move this deal now forward from a lead, right, into an opportunity, and it's going to create an opportunity, an account, all of those types of things for us. So you can see now that the leads has been converted or qualified forward. We move forward to develop. I've created a new opportunity. I've got a new customer. I've got a new contact. And you can also see that we talked about those sequences. It's not just on leads I can do it. I also can have sequences that are available to me on a opportunity as well. So I can do the same thing here, connect sequence, request a product demo, same idea. I connect on that, and now that sequence is going to start to walk through the process. So hopefully that gives you a feel for how you can use dynamic sales and AI to help your salespeople and sales managers be more efficient. Thanks for taking the time to watch today. If you have any questions, be sure to reach out. Thank you.